Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Pullbox Pals. And man, I just love kind of just doing some shoulder dances to that intro.
that's what. So I'm a little peek behind the curtain while that intro music's going. I'm supposed to be sharing this on like my Facebook page and stuff, and I was legitimately just waving my hands in the air to it. I was
Yeah,
straight vibing. But my name's
I
Monk.
just
For
we got Monk over here. Sorry. I had to bring up just we both apparently danced to the song
we were
while
just
we're
straight.
about to go live. But yes,
Oh,
I am Mad Mark, and to my my left on screen, if you're stage right,
yeah, who knows? This
is
happens
my
to us
buddy
all the
Monk.
time.
Yeah. Some
Um,
if somebody could comment and let us know what the proper phrasing is, that'd be great.
I mean, technically, I would be on the left and you would be on the right.
Yeah,
That's a weird thing to say because when I'm looking at, I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now, Mark. I can't explain physics. I can explain comics very poorly on the internet.
phys-
And
physics. That's where we're at.
that's that's why we're starting this week, huh?
We're
Physics.
starting with physics,
Wow.
but we're gonna jump right over it
I
real
couldn't tell
quick.
you one thing what physics is. Like I couldn't be like gravity. I guess gravity.
Yeah,
All
there.
right,
I was
I
gonna say
won.
if as long as you get gravity, like yeah, you got you got let's say you got a nice little apple in your pocket when it comes to gravity.
Wow.
Little tribute to Newton there.
There
Drop
you
the
go.
apple,
Apple. I
steady
caught the
gravity.
reference. I paid somewhat
I'd
attention
re-
in school.
I'd read that. I'd read that.
Wow.
History comics. I love history comics. Like Hashman. Loved it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true. That actually is a great exploration of like American history for a certain like decade that's just going to be
Yeah.
like I mean that is America, because there's only like so much America's only a couple hundred years old, and to have like a person's life that takes up 60 years, that's a good chunk of the time of that country.
Yeah.
So just to be able to like have a person's perspective, yeah, it's incredibly awesome.
My
But
my last two responses to you are both just saying yeah, and it occurred to me that my wife, if she's listening right now, she said that she was going to listen. She told me I say yeah too much.
oh no. Yeah, well, see, now I just said yeah. I realized that with my text, I start like every text message with like well or yeah, which makes me like and like just looking at myself, yeah, just oh boy, how do I feel about myself? But anyways, man, I want to go back to the fact that we were just straight vibing with the
The
um
music,
the intro
the
music
intro music, yeah.
because I was looking forward to this so much today because I really love having guests on, but I really missed last week, like just talking about comics with you. I had a great
Yeah.
talk with Jonathan Chance. It was great, and like getting to hang out with him, like genuinely such like a great fun guy, and like fun time. But I missed talking comics with my pal. I wanted to
Oh
like,
yeah. No,
is that?
I get that.
Oh, it's
I
okay.
feel the same way sometimes. Like I've loved every interview that we've done, but every week I'm just things we could have like talked about in terms of all the comics that came out this week too. So maybe that'll be like a special thing we'll have to figure out
Yeah.
down the road.
We could also just be like real friends and just call each other. We don't really talk much during the week outside of like because we save it for this. This
we
is like
we do
this is our
we
like
save it for here, but we do text throughout the week.
yeah, but
So
it's mostly like, did you read this? How's that? Like
yeah,
stuff like that. I'm not asking about your kids. How are your kids? I'm sure they're fine.
kids are good.
There you go.
One's out on a stay with a grandparent, and
Cool.
you know, breaks coming up, so it's looking pretty chill right now. So, but yeah, the kids are good. They're doing great. Uh,
That sounds great.
yeah, family's good.
Good. See, we caught up. Wow.
Yeah.
Now we
How about you and Jamie and your cats,
we're great. Uh
dogs?
And when we have dogs, they went to the vets, they've got their shots. Everything's good. All healthy on the Western Front. Is that a reference? Is that comic book?
I know that there's a movie, a German movie that was All Is Quiet on the Western Front. Like that's what it's called. It's on
I think it
Netflix. I
was a
haven't watched.
book first, or it was also a movie before. Let's get out of this
Yeah,
territory because I
yeah. Let's
definitely
get
don't
out of
know what
this.
we're talking about. Well, hey man, I was able to make it to my shop today, which was
Yeah.
great.
What'd you get?
This first one is not to spoil like what we're going to be talking about down the road, but I got into a one shot this week that I got really stoked on. And
Man,
so
I love one shots.
I know, me too. Let's save it. But this is also a one shot, and it's from uh Source Point. I was gonna say Upshot, but I
Oh,
was
you
wrong.
got that?
I did. I did. Well, that was very cute.
Man, no,
Yeah.
I just like that was like the one thing I was like, if my shop has this, like holy grail of the week.
Yeah, just for those of you who are listening, this is called Ethers, and it just looks so beautiful. The cover is beautiful, inside is beautiful, and I as I've said on episodes past, I don't really do a lot of like notes on the side, which is probably a problem, but I did do a little bit for this because I read this and this was the thing that like sucked me in. So it's written by Anis Abdulak. The art is by Dennis Manhier, and the CA, which I should have looked into what that is. I guess that would be color artist or something like that. Is Dennis Manhier
Cover
again?
artist.
It was the same
Yeah,
person. Oh, cover artist. Oh my
yeah,
goodness! Wow, I'm
yeah.
making a fool of myself on the internet. That's how it goes here at the Pool Box Pals.
Hey guys, Monk didn't know what a CA was.
Oh no, I'm a loser. Um, you're not a loser. Just in case anybody can't tell, if you don't know what these things are, that's fine. I mean, I made a podcast about comics and I don't know. Anyways, the description is where do souls go when they don't belong anywhere else? Journey into Ethers, the name of the comic, searching for the answers in the introspective character study about pain and self-loathing. For fans of tales of the afterlife, such as The Lovely Bones and AD After Death, two comics I've never read. Following Valerie's passing, she finds herself navigating an unknown and privileged world. She tells her story through poetry and narration as she experiences her surroundings while also recalling her past life, her trauma, and why she believes she deserves to be there. And yeah, I'm all in, man. Let's dive in. Like again, looking into the art of this thing, uh, I'm
And
all
that's
about like
is that
it
a source
looks
point?
yeah, Source Point.
Yeah,
It looks very like soupy, which I imagine the afterlife to be like of just going through the ether. I imagine you're
yeah.
just like moving through soup. But what do I know? I've only never died. But yeah, I'm super stoked to get into that. That looks really dope. That's
Yeah.
definitely
Well,
the high one
and
for me this week.
source point one shots, they're usually pretty on the money.
Yeah. Actually, I
That's
don't even know if I say yeah very confidently, and there I go again saying yeah, but
well,
I don't even know if I could think of
examples.
any.
Two
Give me some.
examples. One of them being hyper aware, our buddy, our pal, Jonathan
That's
Hedrick,
true. I'm a fool. I'm
put
sorry
that
about that.
out. And another one they put out also of Hedrick is Caffeinated Hearts. And Caffeinated Hearts just won for the best self-published like Kickstarter like
That's dope.
comic
It should. It's such a
on
good comic.
for the nerdies for the is it the House of Nerds they put on the nerdies.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah.
right. I'm sorry. I feel like a fool for saying that I couldn't think of any. It's okay. I should forgive myself, but just want to let you know that I don't think. Yeah,
Hey,
I don't
it's all
know.
right.
I'm beating myself up on the inside.
don't
Anywho,
don't do that, man. You're fine.
well,
It's good.
speaking of, well, I'll redeem myself by being like, look, another book from Source Point Press, and it's called The Curse of Clever County.
Ooh,
Um, I don't know anything about this. It just had like dope art that's kind of you can't really see it that well, but it kind of looks like it's like done on like paper. I don't know if it
yeah.
is or not, but it looks like watercolor on like those like
Oh, nice.
notepads. Yeah, I think yeah, it just looks really dope. And I'm just a fan when people take like chances with art, like swing for the moon. But I'm sure on this podcast I've also been like, I love just classic comic book art. So, swings and roundabouts. Am I right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Wow, I should be a philosopher. I'm going back to school, but not before I read
You
The
don't have to
Neighbors.
go to school to be a philosopher.
Well, I
Oh, nice. I love that cover. It's
yeah,
an amazing
it's
cover.
well. See now, okay. So here's the reason that I got this. Originally, I wasn't going to get this because my comic shop, they posted a a preview of the whatevers for the week, and the initial cover that they posted, yeah, that okay, so that I don't really like that. See, that's the kind
Yeah.
of art that kind of steers me away from Boom. I think that's why I didn't get into a lot of like killing the children, who's doing it and how, and like all
Yeah.
those comics, because I'm not a fan of that. But I saw this cover and I was like, okay, so I'll crack it open, and cracked it open, and looks really good as well. Like it's again like jagged and just looks kind of, it's very uh, Monk the Stoic. Um, I'm definitely not a stoic. Well, maybe on the outside, but on the inside, it's like it's bad. But
On the inside,
hopefully on the inside,
you hate Fairyland.
that's right. What are you gonna do? Um, yeah, but I'm excited about this. I don't know anything about it. Do you know anything about it?
No. Other than this was one of the ones that I was gonna see if my shop had it,
Mm,
and they did. They had one copy, which is great. So it was the only option I had. And I know this is cover A, but yeah, I had heard from it from again
you
the
heard
guy
it
from
from a friend
Sparks
who
Comics was getting it.
heard it from a friend
This
who.
other guy I just started following, like him and his wife, kind of do like a YouTube channel. He wanted to get it, but like a lot of people were saying, like, yeah, this is one to get this week, and it was also, I believe, on like that Key Comics app that I look at,
Yeah.
and
I mean, it looks dope,
so
and it's from Boom. I can't. I think I was kind of implying that with what I said, but yeah, it's from Boom, and we've been on a Boom kick. Let me just quick shout out because I have the names right in
well,
front of me.
Boom's been on a kick themselves.
Wow, Boom's been doing a good job, and we've been riding along with Boom.
Yep.
Um, and hopefully we'll continue to ride along with Chewed, Ellis S. Doyle, Ellison S. Doyle, Letizia Catanochi, and Alessandro Santoro. Man, I really put I didn't have to read those names, but I chose to. I wanted to give some credit. I'm really sorry.
Oh,
But yeah,
I,
I don't know why I
I
did
think
that to myself.
I think it's Letitia.
Buddy, let's move on from this. I'm so sorry.
I wanted to give my try at that, but that's what it looks like to
Man,
me.
if we didn't name our episodes like if we had the name, maybe I'll just do a super clip
Well,
from this episode of times that I get embarrassed because we're on number 2 right now.
well, dude, just like one other thing that's just like I think pretty common across like the comic book community, like unless you 100% for sure know how to say somebody's name, you're going to say it how you want to,
Yeah.
and like you'll get corrected.
Oh,
But it's just like so many different like podcasters, YouTubers, they all have that same joke of like, I don't know if I'm saying their name right. Like
well,
I'm trying.
what's the most embarrassing part for me is the fact that like it's content that you consume through reading. So
Yeah.
it's like if that's how like you're reading like out loud, or like that's like your reading comprehension, like what are you doing when you read these comics? So yeah, anyways, that's just kind of how I'm an insecure little whatever I am. So anyways, let's get back to talking about Blue Book, because I know you also got this
Oh yeah.
bad boy.
I sure did.
Uh,
Which one did we get the same cover?
I believe.
Yeah,
Well, I
we
say I
did.
believe so. I think so because that's how I knew you got it. I
Yeah.
was watching your pool over on mad_nerdy on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Look at me
That's
plugging
where
that
you'll find
seamlessly.
me. If you're looking for me, you'll find me there.
But yeah, that's
Well,
just a book from James Tinian the Fourth. Is that right? That's
yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
from Dark Horse Comics. Yeah, it's about Betty and Barney Ross alien
Hmm.
abduction,
Yeah.
and yeah, first one was good. This one I feel like we're gonna. I mean, they saw aliens at spoiler alert. They saw aliens at the end, and yeah, so we'll get to see what those aliens are like. But Yeah, I've been going on forever, but I got two quick last ones. Finally got my copy of I Hate This Place number 6, I believe. Yeah. And The Wasp number 3. So we're almost done that story. That's a 4-1. That's a 4,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? 4 issue 1. So I'm very happy with that. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah.
4 and 1.
Four.
Those are the numbers.
Those are the numbers.
Yeah.
4 and 1.
4 and 1.
Speaking of a number 4, I got a number 4 issue right here.
Heyo.
I think I might have a couple of number 4s today.
Wow.
I'm surprised. Did you not get Darkland?
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know why. I didn't see it on the shelf.
Yeah. Well,
So, and not that I
sometimes.
don't like. I want to get it. I just didn't see it. I forgot I wanted to say that, but I was kind of waiting on you to pull yours up. But I am
Yeah.
bummed about that.
So
That's been fun to go along with you on that.
This will be my my Scout Comics Sunday read.
God, I just realized I don't have one, so I'm gonna have to buy one digitally. Which I say that as if that's like a shame. Like it's all just it's been such good content. I want to get more by the guy who did Ghost Gut. I want to figure out more of that world. But anyways, you keep going.
Ghost Gut is I was intrigued by that. I will be watching for that one down the road. But speaking of kind of more on the horror genre, another number 4 here. This one's kind of got some. I've been hearing the writer's name buzzed around a lot lately. It's Colin.
Yeah. I've heard things by Colin Bunn. Sorry, you broke up a little bit on my side, so I did. I just didn't hear you.
Yeah. Well, anywho, yeah. So this is written by Colin Bunn. It's Door to Door, Night by Night.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that was a different. I thought you were going to talk about a different one because I think he had something else this week.
Yeah, he has a couple. I think he had something on
it might have even been that. Yeah, possibly. It might have even been that one comic that I pulled up. Hold on. I'll keep talking while I look.
Well, you keep looking for that. Something I'm excited that came out. This is the beginning of the second arc, but it is Vanish number 5.
Nice.
Yeah,
that looks pretty, that's a dope cover.
Yeah, so this is the Donnie Cates and Ryan Stegman collaboration. And then I picked up my last Batman One Bad Day that I chose to get, which is the Ra's al Ghul one.
That's dope. Yeah. I saw that and I was tempted to, all these One Bad Day ones I'm tempted to get, but
I didn't get all of them. I think I got this one, Bane, and Riddler.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't think I got any others. And then last but not least, I don't know a whole lot about this one. It popped up in my feed the other day. Somebody was excited about it, and then it was on that Keys Comics list, and it was just like, okay, if my shop has it, I'll get it. And again, they had one copy. Really don't know much about it, but it's called Dead Romans.
Yeah, I now I'm like super self-conscious about the yes, but anywho, I feel like I need to get a jar here where I just drop a nickel into it every time I say it. But who has nickels anymore? But yeah, I saw that on the my shelf, and I thought, I'm like, I bet that you were gonna pick this up because it seems like it's up your alley of something that you would enjoy.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm probably just gonna go with the issue 1 of it, and then maybe see when the trade paperback comes out.
Right.
So, but yeah, we'll see. So, that is the pull list section. We did it.
Ta-da! We did it. Wow. That was
we need sound effects there that like
I know. I keep thinking that maybe I know that there is a way to like put on sounds on here, but anyways, that's a backstage conversation. And okay, so there is music. I'm not going to screw around with any of this while we're live. That seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Well, hey, do you want to get into a comic or should I get into a comic?
Why don't you get into a comic?
Alrighty.
Because I think
yeah, I think I have more, so that would make sense for me to go first. So I'm gonna just go with I'm not gonna say that this. I'm gonna say that this is the banger of the week. I'd take back that thought that I had for 1 second, where I said that I wasn't gonna say this, but yeah, this is I don't want to say that this in my head I want to say like this revolutionized comics for me, because this stuff has been done before, but I really love seeing people do stuff with the genre or stuff with like the medium that's
Mm-hmm.
new and like innovative and like enhances the experience of reading a comic. And like I'm like talking this thing up so like so great, but it was super enjoyable, like the overall experience of this comic. And this comic is called Rock and Roll Hell. Got a big old glare there, but yeah, Rock and Roll Hell. um and so this is from Sumerian tablet. Wow.
Yeah.
This is from the
Sumerian tablet.
this is on the Sumerian tablet. No, this is from Sumerian comics. There it is. So it was written by Sam Romsberg and Ben Roberts, and the art and the cover art is by Gregio di uh, Agaliana. Isn't that we know that person, don't we? They did something else that we're
Say the
familiar
name
with.
again.
Um, Gregio, man, I'm really upset that you made me say the name again because now this is going to be number 3 time for Tim to be embarrassed on the Pool Box Pals. But Gregoro di Agenlia. You're going to have to Google it because it's
Gregorio.
oh, are you looking at it?
I am now. I just I just got to it.
Why do you like to watch me suffer so much? Oh my goodness.
That wasn't intentional. It was more that
Yeah.
yeah, this is the only thing he has on
Okay, so I guess I'm
Comic
thinking of
Geek,
somebody
so
else then. But anyways,
but
let's get out of this
it
pocket.
is Rosenberg though, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's a name we're familiar with.
From what?
If it's who I'm thinking of, it's um oh, I'm confusing him with
Are you what's the
Matt.
farthest place from here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's get out of the names thing. We've been doing so we went for a very long time of not sticking ourselves into this pocket, but now we've stuck ourselves back
We've
in this
done it.
pocket for some reason.
It
Anyways,
happens.
so Rock and Roll Hell, man, it was I saw it on the shelf and I grabbed it instantly. And the reason was that it was it was bag and board, which was nice, and it came with a cassette, uh, which was
Yeah,
super dope.
that was pretty cool.
Um, just I don't know why, but I feel compelled to take it out and show it to you. But I actually do collect cassettes. I had an EP of my own on cassettes, so I'm a big fan of cassettes. So
That's
like
awesome.
this just like hit like a bunch of buttons for me. You and I were having a conversation with our pals over at the Comic Book Lair about like growing up listening to metal music and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, so this was just like a nice. I put this cassette on the way to work today because I'm like I want to listen to the songs in case they get referenced in the uh comic, and like so then I'd be familiar with the words or what have you, you know.
Mhm.
But I don't think that they do get referenced, which is a little bit of a bummer. I couldn't find. I did some like dive in. Maybe I'll do some more later, but I couldn't find who the band was. But the band was dope. The music was very um like Metallica influenced, but like hardcore influence as well. They had like Metallica drums, just like the big, heavy, like
Yeah,
hollow
yeah, yeah.
drums.
So
But
wait, you
then
said you can't find like the artist who
no, I
wrote
can't,
this
the
music?
band, the people that put the music together. I don't know who like the studio musicians are that um
Is it the creators?
I don't think so. Again, that's what I mean. Like I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't find it. It didn't say
Did you ever watch what was it called, like Metalocalypse?
yeah. This is
Yeah,
very like
it seems reminiscent of that a little bit.
it is very reminiscent of that. So let me just read the description here because again, I'd pull this because I thought it was dope. The summer of '91, rural Finland, the Rock and Roll Hell Open Air Metal Festival is in full swing with the American death metal band Feral Carnage set to headline. During their set, what is first mistaken as an elaborate pyrotechnic show turns out to be the second coming of Jesus Christ. Taking one look at the people and the attendance of the show, Christ damns the festival and orders his army of heaven to smite them from his father's creation. Fueled by beer, weed, and the impostor's power of metal, Furl Carnage must summon the forces of hell to fight back. And I'm like,
Wow,
that is dope. That's
that's
like
rad.
such a like metal concept. And it's what's really cool is it's just like the story of metal, you know, like what
Yeah.
kind of like metal is. And like it was great to see it, like, I don't want to say personified, but however that would be, like, to be encapsulated in a story like that was dope. I was, yeah, the whole time I was reading it, I was enjoying it. It's honestly probably going to be something that I go back to. That's one of the reasons that I really love one shots, is because they're go back a bolt too. You know, like,
Yeah.
it's just easy to pick up one comic and just like bam, good story, you know? So
Hmm.
shout out to everybody who's putting out good one shots, because yeah, I'm a fan of it. And again, like,
Yeah.
having like
One
it's
shots are great.
yeah,
Source
like
Point puts out good ones. Aftershock puts out good ones.
mhm.
I mean, really everybody puts out a good one, but like some, like Source Point and like Source Point puts out a lot of one shots. I guess is that.
I I guess they still do annuals, but I feel like annuals aren't like celebrated. And I feel like also annuals aren't really brought into like the indie world by any means, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's mostly just a Marvel and a DC thing. Um I heard that. Did something fall from the heavens? It might be the
No,
second
it's
coming of
just
Jesus Christ.
it started raining, and I have these like highlights right here, and it's just it's
It's
raining
wow.
pretty. It's Oregon spring rain.
Wow, that sounds romantic. But yeah, that was just a great comic, man. It was just that, like I said, a full fun experience from like start to finish. So good job the entire team and the band, regardless of who you are. So
Well, just the inclusion of media what helps me really transition into this next one. No one. Issue number one came out last week, and I've kind of been trying to dabble in this world of the massive verse. It's like images at kind of like Avengers Justice League type world.
okay, like a connected
Like
hero
it's a
world.
yeah, and so like each it just kind of seems like each primary character has their own city.
Hmm.
Like there's one in like Chicago and maybe Philadelphia, and
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
like just other cities other than just like the one I'm reading, The Dead Lucky, is in San Francisco.
Okay.
And this new one, No One, I believe, uh, oh, it's Pittsburgh. So here, let me
Oh,
give you the little blurb about it. So
hit me with it.
10 months ago, the Richard Roe murders shocked the city of Pittsburgh. In the months since, the killings have sparked a dangerous political movement, copycat killers, and a masked who's still determined to hold the powerful accountable. Not a symbol, not a hero. They could be anyone. They're no one. And this just kind of it very much screams like this is their Dark Knight. Like this
Mm,
is who their Batman character is going to be.
mm,
Um, but he's a former hacker.
nice.
And he like yeah, he's holding the powerful accountable, and by hacking into like their accounts and kind of just putting these people on blast. And so issue one, I have it
Somewhere.
right here.
There you
Um,
go.
so don't mind the little VG there. That's just this is a recycled Borg bat I'm using for this.
Gotcha.
You know, it does have Batman feelings. There's the
Oh
building
yeah.
over here is like blowing up, and he's jumping
Yeah, it's got a
out.
cape,
Yeah. So
all that stuff.
I really did enjoy it, but it just also like Massiverse is starting to get kind of like massive, and it's like, is it already too late to jump on?
Mm,
Like I'm probably not gonna go back to reading like Radiant Black, who
right.
actually Kyle Higgins, the writer of No One, he writes Radiant Black, or like at least he's known for it. Um but it's also written by Brian uh, Bushilato,
Sure.
Chicken Devil.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I miss Chicken Devil. Chicken
yeah.
Devil like disappeared. It's
Well,
sad.
no, I think well, it's Aftershocks release dates have just been pretty wonky.
Yeah.
I know the new
But what
one's
are you
coming
gonna do?
out soon. But yeah, and it's also the artist is Geraldo Borges. He does Nightwing. But yeah, it's an oversized comic. It's I think it's 48 pages. It
Oh,
was $4. But yeah, I liked it. I don't know if I want to stick with it,
mm,
but I'm kind of I would like to see like an app from Image. Maybe
yeah.
they already have it, but they did just strike a deal with Global Comics.
I saw that. That's dope.
So, that might be a way to get caught up with the Massiverse. But the Massiverse is like cool. I like these new like modern takes on like superheroes. And
Yeah.
then the old like the classic and traditional and legendary characters that we know from Marvel and DC. This is something Image is doing. So
Right.
so I like it. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
hopefully it does like like it would just like you're saying, like it does just sound like something to be consumed on like that's again, like that's how I consume Star Wars. Like you just sit
yeah.
down and you just like what this universe is so vast, I can like dive into like and you can do this with the Avengers and like the Justice League as well. You can dive into that world and see what characters you like and then try to get their books, right? And so you can probably do that with this. I don't know if they've crossed that there, but like cross them over on that level yet, but I'm sure they will
Yeah.
at some point, you know?
Yeah. And I think that there's been like a little crossover, but yeah, there's and I was talking our group chat with our pals over at the comic book lair, just asking if anybody read much of the Massiverse. And it does just seem like a lot to like take in. Um,
Yeah. But I mean,
but
that's how it goes. You know, I think that's like very standard. I mean, when the new 52 came, that's what the plan was to have 52 comics, you know? So, like,
yeah,
and that's to understand their universe. And, like, I mean, Marvel, you know, like, Marvel, like, independent comics at my comic shop have like 2 racks dedicated to them. And that's including like Image and Boom. But Marvel and DC, like they have their own racks that are about the same size. That's just them. So again, like you're asking the consumer to participate in like I guess I could have used like the example of like the wall behind me with all these comics. But
yeah, 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 yeah,
say like this wall right here is all Marvel and this wall here is Independence. Asking me to read all this to understand like that's a lot when I can read like just a couple of these and I understand the whole story.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's interesting. I was thinking about this today, like the level of comic tiers of like, you know, we've had Jonathan Hendricks and Jonathan Chance on, and like
Hmm.
where we plan to have more creators on in the future. And there is, and we've talked about this with Jonathan a little bit after the episode was ended. There's this lower level than indie. You know, like when we say indie comics, that term
Well,
itself is become too broad because
well,
there's like truly
it's like there's
independent
macro
artists.
and micro.
Yeah, but, like, I guess, but then I feel like that's no one says that. So,
Yeah,
like, either that needs to become, like, how we talk about it or, like, we just need a different word for it because there is, like, a different level, like, truly independent artists, like, Image and, like, some of these guys, like, it's not the same, and, like, that's not to say that, like, one's I'm not trying to speak poorly of anybody, but I would love to give them a I don't want them to get buried in like Image Comics, who's building its own universe, you know, and then that'd be like independent as well. And it's similar to what I was saying about DC and Marvel. Are you following it all?
yeah. No, I totally understand.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, it's just there is just this subgenre like this in like more indie than indie, or
Hmm.
maybe that this is just the new indie, neo indie. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, like because we're talking, yeah, Jonathan Chance has had stuff from Blood Moon Comics. I've talked. It's hard for me to get that into my shop because
Mm.
it's not easy for my shop to get their hands on.
Yeah.
Um, but it's also the same things with like Black Box, which also Hedrick has put out on. Like I ordered through their site. My shop probably would have had more trouble bringing it in for me.
Yeah.
And so there, and then just the guys too, even deeper, the guys for outer space,
Right. Yeah.
like
Like
they
just and there's a lot of people like that, and like we're trying
self-funded
to
stuff. Yeah.
we're trying to be like, as supportive as that stuff as we can be. But like, if you're listening to this, you like comics, like try to find like, you can't support everybody, but you can support somebody, right? Try to just do some shopping. And like I've done this on Kickstarter. I haven't committed to anything, but like I'll just browse like indie comics, and like
Mm,
see which ones like I want to just throw a couple bucks at.
right.
I said earlier this year that that's what I wanted to do, and a lot of that has turned into like just helping out, like, and talking to a lot of the guys that we've had on here. And that's kind of been my contribution. But I want to get to Kickstarters. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyways, I feel like we're driving away from comics. Well, I guess we are talking about
No,
comics.
we're talking about just the community of it, and
That's true. Man, look at me being all sorts of paranoid. But you know who should be paranoid? My friend, my pal.
paranoid.
Paranoid?
Yeah.
Remember the band Paramore? I say
Mm-hmm.
remember the band Paramore like they're not currently touring with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, that's a little aside. But man, this is another comic that like um I don't say like pulled the rug out for me, but like that's how it feels. Like I didn't expect this to be as good as I thought this was going to be, which sounds like I'm taking a dig, but like
Okay.
what I mean is I'm enjoying this so much more than I was like expecting to enjoying it. I thought it would be good, that's why I pulled it, but it just hit me. Maybe I'm just like stoked on comics this week. But anyways, I should just say what it is. It's Harrower #2.
Harrower.
Oh, Harrower?
Harrower.
Harrower? Sorry, I had to take a drink there real quick. Um, so this is like just like a classic slasher tale. This is also from Boom. And yeah, let's see. It's Justin
Harrower.
Jordan and
Harrow.
Bram Rebel. I know we did this last time. It was just like
Yeah.
Harrower.
Ah.
It's a hard word to say. But and then it's like somebody like comes
Is
to
it a
kill
hard
you.
H?
Yeah, I don't know. But the palette is like all this like kind of like I don't know, retro neon-y, like whatever this is. Um and I love it. I'm a big fan of that color powered palette, and it's not something that's usually like used in comics a lot. So I've just been enjoying it. Um but yeah, so like a lot of this is a horror comic about the guy on the cover, that's the horror. Um but it's like a town legend, and people like it's like a Jason Voorhees or like something like that. It's very classic horror, and
Mm.
it's it's I don't know. I don't want to say different from classic horror, but what's really like got me flabbergasted, and I said this when I reviewed issue #1, was that it just like goes straight into killing people. It's just, and I
Mm.
think it's because it's one of those comics where it's like you just know you're not going to be there for forever. So like, what's the point of just not like you just might as well destroy the world while you're there, like
So
as a
it
creative
comes out as like a slasher.
dude. And that's 100% what it is. It's just a slasher tale. And because you just have this like like anonymous villain that's only just wants to kill, like
Hmm.
that's all it just wants to do. And it shows up at a teenage party, they're drinking, the phones aren't working for some reason, like, and then he just comes in and just mows down this party. And like you think like, oh, some of them will get away, but it's just like he's just like cutting them in half, and it's just, yeah, it's kind of spoilers, but like
That's a lot.
yeah, and you just don't expect it to just be like, because like again, like you think like a classic, like somebody will go outside because they're too drunk, and then like that's the guy that'll get nabbed. Not the guy just comes into the party and just starts
What's
going ham,
and what's the publisher?
Boom, baby. It's
Boom.
Boom.
Of
If
course,
it's
it's
a good
Boom.
story, it's Boom or Scout or sometimes Aftershock. But yeah, man, I'm jazzed on this. This is definitely one that has become, and like this is great because like uh not that I didn't like I read a lot of comics last year, but I didn't read a lot of comics that like made me like super stoked when I saw them show up in my pool box, you know. This one is definitely that, like, number 3. I guess, yeah, number 3 is usually when you can tell that like you're in love with a comic, right? You know? Like
Yeah.
that's like if you're that far in, you're like or you're just like I'm riding this to the end. That's
And
kind of,
what issue
you
was
know,
that again?
number 2.
Number 2. And so is number 3 coming out soon?
No, I'm just kind of talking about it. This came out
Okay.
last week.
Oh,
No,
okay.
maybe 2 weeks ago. I honestly can't remember, but I
Yeah.
was just so stoked on it that I just wanted to talk about it because it's a dang good comic. But
Um,
yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I might even go back and read issue number 1 because it was kind of a breeze from what I remember. So I might just treat myself to a little comic rewatch.
I think I'm gonna be watching for the trailer on one because there's
Oh,
another.
for
It's
sure.
just another one for me that it seems like there's a lot of buzz about it, and I didn't hop on it. I think I'll just wait, but
Yeah. Honestly, I
it
think it would
seems really good.
probably this seems like this story is gonna be, you know how like something is killing the children was took place in like a night or two, like something like that. Like even like several volumes was like the first like just day or two. I think maybe I could be wrong, but it's a very short time. This is what this story feels like. Like it's gonna be like um done by the morning, you know, like this is an evening. It feels like, maybe I'll be wrong, like maybe that a couple months will pass or whatever, but at the rate that he's just like killing people, and like there's other stuff happens in this story like that's like connected to issue 1, so I'm not spoiling everything. I spoiled a lot though, but yeah, it's a horror thing, but you just literally don't see it coming, so I ruined the best part of it. But anyways, go pick it up because it's great. And yeah, I mean, you'll be hearing me talk about this all the way till you get the trade paperback.
And do you know how many issues it's going to be in total?
I think it's 4, right?
You think
Because your
it's oh,
smirk says, "Oh, I thought
I
you."
haven't looked.
Oh, for some reason, I saw you googling something so for some reason I thought that you were looking up how many or just you were looking at it and saw that it. I don't know. Part of me does say that it's 4, but I don't. I'm not driven to look because even if it was ongoing, that would be great. I would love to
Yeah,
watch this man just in this
just
pink and neon
go
world
mow down some teenagers at a
just mow
party.
down teenagers across America
Good grief.
doing God's work.
It sounds fitting of the horror title.
Yeah. Well, hey man, you got another one you'd like to get into?
Yeah, so anybody who's been following along knows that I think I stopped reading Berserker around issue 6 or 7. Um I just decided I was going to wait until the final issue came out because it was just becoming like it started off really good. Like it was, I found out recently too, it just issue 2, like it's the top selling indie comic
Really?
um like of the 21st century.
Wow. Good.
um
Good on Keanu Reeves.
yeah. I was trying to read some like more reviews on it as I was like reading to catch up because I started reading. I think I picked up with issue 7 or 8, so I picked up there and I just like read them through, looked them through a few times, and there was just so much like build up, and like by the end of issue 11 there was just a lot of build up, and it
Mm.
was also announced like issue 12 was going to be a double feature, so or like a
Ooh.
double sized issue, not double feature, so a double sized issue.
Okay.
So there's just like a lot they could do. And it just seems like a lot of the stuff that got built up too, like just even with Caldwell, who you can tell throughout the entire thing just has like his own plan and his own ideas of how this whole situation needs to be dealt with.
Mm.
Berserker is this like 80,000-year-old god who can't die. Like he was born of a human woman, but like his father. Oh, what's up, Ross?
Oh boy.
Icon.
It's Ross.
Um,
Howdy, partner. Throwing up the
uh,
horns for you. We're metal here this week.
we're going metal this week.
Hey, we're talking
Um,
Berserker. Yeah, we're
yeah,
just
we're talking Berserker.
I should be
Um,
playing my electric guitar in the background.
but it just seemed like so much is like the anticipated battle between Caldwell because he finally gets what he wants, but so does Berserker. Berserker, you know, I don't want to spoil it, but he essentially chose to weaken himself and, you know, the odds against him like pretty poor. And it just kind of built out a little like cliche. And the ending just, I don't know. They're going to put out more and they're going to keep writing Berserker. I think they've already announced, like Boom said, like we're going to
Right.
keep
Yeah.
going with this. But I would argue like the first 6, 7 issues are a lot better
Mm,
than the last like few.
yeah.
And I don't know, like I wonder if other people are on that same page. The reviews I read, I could only find one for the last few issues was all on comicbookreviews.com.
Okay.
It's the same
Interesting.
person who was assigned to it just giving their little blurb about it. And
Yeah.
they like I just kept reflecting with what this person had to say about it. And I was like, yeah, like that makes sense. It really wasn't like the best. So it's like it's a 7, 8
Okay.
overall.
That's not
But
terrible. Would you recommend like a trade paperback of it?
yeah, I would definitely say get the trade paperback. I think it's going to be a pretty big deal. I mean, it's Keanu Reeves.
That's
We're going to
fair.
see it live action at some point.
That's true. Yeah. So I mean, save your number ones because
Yeah,
I mean they're probably already worth something. I would imagine you would be the guy to ask, or maybe Ross. Ross might know off the top
Ross
of his
might know.
dome how much Berserker number one goes for. Um, yeah, that's sometimes comic like some I there was a comic I was talking a little bit. I didn't really want to bring this up because we don't like to talk about like comics that we're not enjoying
Yeah,
because we don't want to say anything bad about people because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But that doesn't mean that other people aren't enjoying them. They're just not our cup of tea, right? I tried reading Blink this past weekend because I really, really love the art, but the stories and the way that's told isn't gelling with me, which is a shame because I really just want to be in that world and like see
yeah,
like and just consume it. But like I literally was thinking today that I might just page through it. Um, uh Ross has yet to read it, so probably grab it and trade. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to consume that story, maybe because especially
yeah,
with how like sporadic it comes out. But maybe it's worth it. Like if you really love it, like again, I love that Rad Wraith, and I'm just like dying and waiting for that to come out. Like,
yeah.
um, and I'll
Well,
keep
and
waiting.
I would like to just hear too what other people who've been reading Berserker think. I think Ray or Kyle's been reading it,
Yeah.
um, and so I'll be interested to hear what they have to say. Um, but yeah, it's really cool conceptually. Like I really did like it. Just that, but it just the story kind of just pitted out for me. And I think that it started to just because it was planned as like a 12 thing, as I understand it, but it just got so much buzz. They're like, well, why don't we rework it so that it's more than that? And it just seems like all the stuff they fit in towards the end that it just seemed like it all got like rushed in.
Oh,
So
s- yeah, that's understandable. But to cut you off real quick, Ross says I have issue one of Rad Wraith and said this is taking too long. You're not wrong, and it's nothing wrong with like nothing. I'm not saying that ill spirited. Like the quite the opposite of like I just want it, dude. I think my issue number one disappeared again. I bought two
really,
copies of issue number one, and I can't find it. I need to look in my long box because but I swore I wanted to put it up. I don't know why it wouldn't be on my wall. Because I love that comic. So I'm super that comic is cursed for me. It's like my I don't know. What's a Greek myth about the thing that you want being like internally outside of your reach. Anyways, um
it's very,
this isn't this isn't Greek mythology, guys. I don't know.
nope.
I'm sorry. But um I guess it's no wait. So did you talk about a comic last, or did I talk about a comic
No, that
last?
we just finished with me on Berserker.
You
So
on Berserker? Okay, cool.
yeah.
So then I'm going to go into the comic that I
Which sorry,
posted.
let me can I just phrase too? Like I do think it's worth reading.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
better than 8, but I thought it could have been better overall. So
Yeah.
but I want to talk with more people who have read it. So, anyways,
There you go. That's the action for the week. If you've read Berserker issue number 1, go ahead and let us know what you think about that. Because yeah, I too am very curious to know what the general public thinks about this. Because I haven't even touched it, so I don't have any dog in that dog race. I think that's horses.
I'm curious about this one.
Dude, you need to get this. I don't know if you need to order it or whatever, but I just live on the internet just bent my copy. But anyways,
Oh, no.
what are you gonna do? So this is Junction Jones and the Corduroy Conspiracy. And man, this world is like everything that I love about like I love a good sci-fi world. And it's in black and white. I guess I could just open up and show it. And I posted about this on Instagram on hashtag Scout Comics Sundays. And I said that this first panel just sucks me right into the world of just, you can see like this dirty, like kind of dystopian world. And then it's a PI and then a little sticky note that says out for unpersonal business or whatever it says. And yeah, and then it just cuts to Junction Jones or Jones or Detective Jones, whatever he goes by, and his Niblets is the name of the cat. And they're in an alleyway, and it looks so this is a comic that I went back and read twice, and I realized that I really need to start doing that because I pick up a lot more stuff when I go back. And I realized, okay, so they're in this world where I guess humans have been integrated with technology, and so it's hard to find humans that just don't have any technology in them. So people are looking for or he's selling them to like organic humans to somebody. So since he's a detective, he gets like inside clues into like where bodies are and stuff like that. So he gets to go there first, and if it's all organic material, like all organic, he can sell it like at a higher price. And this issue, he finds the body of a homeless gentleman, and it's not pretty. Like it's gross art. Like it's like gross in the best way possible, right? And yeah, so they're looking at this body, and like a cleanup crew comes, and he thinks that they're just like a normal like whatever, like just clean the city kind of whatever people. But it turns out there's some like high up organization. I'm not 100% sure what that was about. That's probably become clearer down the road. But yeah, it was just like I really appreciate comics that are funny, that like aren't like, look at us trying to be funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just inherently funny. And this is one of those, like, for sure. And yeah, let me just see if I can find. Okay, so the scripts and letters are by TC Prescatory, and art is Loco Gonzalez. Cover logo is Lisa Chang, and blog design is Tom McKnight. I'm sorry, I don't know why I giggled at the beginning of that. I just had never seen a blog design. That's pretty dope. See, again, integrating different forms of technology is cool. But I mean, I don't like a lot of words, but this is like heavy, a lot of words in it, but it was still something like super enjoyed. So
Nice.
yeah,
And
that's
what is it called again?
Junction Jones and the Corduroy Conspiracy. And it's from, again, I mean, I said this earlier, but Scout Comics, and we love
Yeah,
Scout Comics here
we
at the
love Scout
Pullbox Pals.
Comics.
I thought you said Spout Comics.
Spout Comics.
Old Spout Comics. Well, you got any other ones that you want to throw out to there, buddy?
Well, I have one second. I need to attend to my dog.
Oh, go ahead. While you're doing that, I can chat about some comics. So like, if you've been following along for the past couple of weeks there at home, you know what I'm going to be saying about these comics. But yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, so I picked up Behold Behemoth and Know Your Station. They're both number 4, which is great. Yeah, because we're on, I guess it's a number 4. It's a 4 issue. Is it? Yeah, we're issue number 41, episode number 41. I don't know what's happening right
4
now,
to
Mark.
1. But I'm back.
Good.
And you're talking about Behold
We're
Yes.
struggling.
Know
We're
your
on the
station.
struggle bus, buddy.
No,
Oh my goodness.
I always struggle with that word, which is why I'm glad they're now Sumerian comics, because I can
Yeah.
say that with
It's
confidence.
true. But
Um,
that's Boom. Those are both Boom Studio again. So these are just comics that like it was so nice to have them in my pool box this week. I just love yeah, I just love these comics. So I feel like I've said enough about them in the
yeah,
past, but like issue number 4 of Behold Behemoth kind of again started fleshing out. There's a behemoth that lives inside this little girl, and I thought it's not so much that the little girl turns into this behemoth, but she becomes the gateway which the behemoth comes into our reality. So the behemoth kind of like talks to her, and the shepherd, Grayson, can tell when the little girl is like having conversations in her head with this, and he's like, you got to stop talking to it because it's trying to like be like, you can just go away and let me like do this all the time. um yeah. All right, Ross, thank you for swinging
yeah.
by.
Thanks for hanging out, Ross.
We appreciate it. And to everyone else who's here, we appreciate you coming on through. If you got any comments, go ahead and leave them. We'd love to hear from you. But
Yeah.
yeah, Behold Behemoth, it's such a good story. I'm gonna have to go back and just buy it on digital just because I really love how this art looks and I want to see it like high def in my face. And Know Your Station. Know Your Station was a little bit of a dip this week. Still love it
Mhm.
very much, but I'm just like, I want to see where this is going. Like I'm like, I want to see, give me some juice. I think it's because I just think about it a lot. And so I'm just like, I want to know what's happening. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's very much how I feel about those comics. But yeah,
Right on.
overall, man, I had a great like a comic experience in the past week. So it's been a good comic week for your pal here month.
Yeah, and that's great. That's good, man. It's always good to have a good comic week.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't I oh, so a few things else that I read or in the last 2 weeks, I guess. So I read the last Ronin, the latest like Ninja Turtles installments of that line, and it's a prequel to the last Ronin. It's called The Lost Years, and it's about Michelangelo and his journey to the events of Last Ronin, and
Right.
I'm just digging that. So I believe Ray's reading that as well. Uh, so yeah, Ninja Turtle stuff's good right now, and I also have that like the Power Rangers crossover one with them going as well.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is just like the things I read good this week were, things we've always known. Like I loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, everything like the stuff they've been putting out. I've been catching up on some older issues on Comixology, and then uh, there's one other thing that I read this week
Oh
that was
boy. Can you find
Star
it?
Wars. I don't have my like my issues up for it, but Star Wars. I've really been digging the High Republic series,
Nice.
just overall. And right now, the Blade has been going on, and I think it's more issue. And so this is, or maybe no, it's five. It's 5 issues. So this is Marvel Star Wars, obviously, but it's this story. It's a prequel story character you met in the initial novel released by under the High Republic name,
Hmm.
and he's at this point like an old Jedi, and he had the name bestowed upon him, but now he's like the cook at this tiny little outpost on a podunk planet somewhere in the galaxy. That's where you pick up with him
Nice.
in the novel, and so you're getting his backstory of like when he was a younger Jedi and like how he got to become all these this Jedi with all these nicknames. Kind of like, I don't know, he's kind of like Zorro, like legendary
Oh.
in a
Oh, you got
way.
me on Zorro. I'm a big fan of
Uh,
Zorro.
that's I think that's the best I give, is just like he was known as like, a sabersmith.
Ooh,
He
that's a good
understood
word.
he understood how to use lightsaber better than anybody. So
Don't we
yeah,
all?
that's been going on, and then the main storyline kind of has this character, this other Jedi that kind of reminds me of the boys. The
You got this. You can
like
do
the
this.
main. Oh my goodness,
You got this. Nope,
it's
not
gone.
coming to you. Oh, there you go.
No, I know who I'm thinking of. I just can't either the actor's name in the show, but the main guy.
I don't. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Ah,
Yeah. Well,
wah, 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 wah.
yeah.
Need
On
that sound effect there.
that note, I think I think we need to kick this horse in the ribs and get it on going into town.
No animals will be hurt.
No, I'm just kidding. I would never kick a horse, mostly because they're too high and I couldn't reach it. That's not true. There's lots of reasons I wouldn't kick a horse. I'm a vegetarian, being one of them. I would seem like a hypocrite. But man, yeah, it's always great to chat comics with you.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody who came along for this journey and talked. Chat, left some comments about comics. Wow. All right, man.
You nailed
Uh,
that. You
I'm
got it.
We're doing great. There's a Modest Mouse song, and I can't remember what it's called, but it just goes, "This plane is definitely crashing," and that's like playing. That's in the background of my head right now. Modest Mouse. I don't know if like when people think about Modest Mouse, they think about like Float On and
Yeah.
stuff, but Modest Mouse like was a legit like rock, like hard rock band.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
we're again.
way before they got known for that song.
Right. But I mean, even after Modest Mouse, like they have a song called King Rat where he goes, "Well,"
Mhm.
a lot, but he makes that song, makes that sound a lot. Anyways, we've made it full circle. We started talking about rock, I think, maybe.
Yeah,
We
it's
talked about
true.
rock
We did it.
and now wow, the
Now we were
Holy
talking about
Trinity.
Modest Mouse.
We did it.
We did it.
The one barely counts as rock, but yeah. Make sure I don't. The fact that there's still people here makes me feel good that apparently this is entertaining. So if you're having a fun time, please subscribe and like. It really helps us out. Leave a review. If you normally listen to this, maybe give it a watch. If you normally watch, maybe give it a listen, and just
Yeah.
subscribe wherever you do that.
And if you are listening, apparently Spotify has a bunch of new features that you can
Oh,
do like while listening to a podcast to kind of help the podcast, just like leaving it, five, 1 out of 5 stars or whatever. And
right.
I think you can like comment. There's
Ooh.
just new interactions you can do on Spotify. I heard about through our that's ABJ.
There you go.
There we
Yeah.
go.
So if you're listening on Spotify, do some interactions, and I'll see if I get any notifications, and we'll meet back here next week.
Yeah.
Same pool time, same pool channel. And do we got anything else to say? Follow us on social media, all that yaddle yaddle.
I
Mark,
think we did
you're
it.
beautiful. We did it.
Yeah, this
Thank you.
horse is now just laying on the ground saying, just get it up.
All right, we're putting this horse out of his misery. And you know why? Because I gotta say something right now. And it is, I haven't read comic like these in years.
You nailed it.